Just over 100 days away from Election Day, and a top issue for the race for the White House is combating disinformation online. It's affecting both sides of the aisle. We're still 3 months out from Decision Day. So here to discuss is Nina Jankowicz, the American Sunlight Project co-founder and CEO. Nina, it's great to talk to you. So let's just take a step back. When you talk about everything that has already happened within this race, certainly has been no shortage of headline-grabbing news events. What are you seeing from a disinformation perspective, and how different is it this time around, even versus what we were seeing 4 years ago?
Well, I think the environment has become a lot more polluted when it comes to disinformation. We've seen social media companies really taking a step back in terms of their own content moderation policies and practices, in part because of political pressure. And we are also seeing information moving much more quickly, a lot of AI-generated attempts at disinformation, none that have been particularly successful so far. But in addition to all that, we've got foreign disinformation playing a role as well. So it's a crowded environment. It's one that's fast moving. And frankly, it's one that voters need to kind of watch out for and take some time to verify information before they share it online.
I want to get your take on some of the reaction we've seen from Wall Street. For example, we have Bill Ackman posting on X throughout the past 24 hours some what you could call conspiracy theories about President Biden. What is the impact of high-profile individuals like Mr. Ackman posting things like that? How does that play into the broader misinformation question?
Well, when you have someone who has the public's trust and who is seen as an influential figure posting things like that, essentially what it does is condone those narratives, and it amplifies them and makes them travel faster and farther than they would otherwise. And so I would say to anybody with a following of, even over 5,000 to 10,000 followers on any platform, we really have a duty to verify information before we share it, and not just to stir the pot for the sake of getting engagement or likes. Our democracy is on the line, and for our democracy to function, we need a set of shared facts, and everyone has a duty to kind of uphold those facts, particularly elected officials who have also trafficked in disinformation over the past 8 years.
Where's the majority? Is there a place where the majority of this disinformation is coming, and how has that evolved over the last several years?
I wouldn't say there's somewhere that is kind of the key vector for disinformation. Again, we've seen foreign actors engaging in this. We've seen people, profiting off of disinformation. There was the famous case in 2016 of the Macedonian teenagers who made $1 million, creating a click farm full of Hillary Clinton disinformation. That hasn't ended. We have PR companies who are engaging in this sort of thing. So there's a market for it. And there are also people who are trafficking in disinformation to maintain their grip on power. And I think that's an important thing to note as well. None of the actors who are involved are completely, disinterested. They are very self-interested and self-promoting. And so when you see something online that is making you emotional in some way, that's a good indication that someone is trying to manipulate you. And it's a great moment to ask yourself why that might be.
I just want to end on the potential path forward for the White House here, because they obviously have one of their own running for president potentially here once that's confirmed at the DNC. But do you think that will fuel policy action from the executive branch regarding social media and disinformation policies as Vice President Harris does become potentially the Democratic nominee?
Well, I think Vice President Harris has been pretty forward-looking on things like AI and other tech policy, but any counter disinformation regulation or any regulation of social media writ large really does need to come from Congress itself, needs to be passed by Congress. And we've seen a total dereliction of duty on that front from Congress over the past 8 years. They haven't even been able to pass kind of the most basic regulation relating to disinformation, advertising disclosures, or kids' online safety. So I think there's a long way to go there. I think the next White House could certainly give Congress a nudge, but I'm not holding my breath.